Hi guys, welcome to another plan with me. This is going to be for the July 2017 monthly spread in the new neutral Erin Condren planner. I just wanted to show you guys how my kits will work in here and how you can line them up so they will, because the lines aren't on the sides of this, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to line up, but it is still possible. So here is the July monthly kit, and if you guys have never seen my monthly kits, this is what they include. I always do the strip for this part and here, and then this will line up with this because it will cover all these days. And then you have, normally I do some like holiday little squares here and here, but July has only one holiday really. So 4th of July, and then these ones are just blank, so you can use them for whatever you'd like. Bill dues, some appointment labels, some little icons, then the little strip here for the side for a checklist, and then some headers that fit right in these boxes here. There are some payday flags, some regular blank flags, some order trackers, which I used to use all the time in my spreads to make sure I was getting all my orders that I had placed, because a lot of them sometimes took a while to arrive, so I wanted to make sure. And those are handy for tracking on the monthly. Then you've got your date squares, which I changed them this month. They are all one color, and then just a few extra ones to fit in there. And then you've got like some half boxes, some little strips so you can track like a vacation or anything ongoing that's multiple days, and then you can just cut it to whatever length you'd want. Some little squares that fit in these, and then just some of these extra little strips and the dots. So let's start with, I think we'll start with this one that's going to go over these days that are in June. And then that way I can just line up on top of that the other strip. And this flag, you can either cover it up. These are not quite big enough, but you could cover it up with something else, another flag you have, or you could white it out. Because it is blue and it kind of matches this kit, I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. And then I'm going to put in this one. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to line up, but I think if I line it up with this corner here of this little bar, I think that will be correct. There we go. And then I like to put down this side strip. Okay. And I will just see if I can get this. Actually, let's do this. Perfect. Okay. So even though July is kind of far away, I actually have a lot going on in July. I already kind of know some of the stuff that's going to be happening. I'm going to put down this little 4th of July. Actually, I want to do it over this little full box. And I'll put the date dots in, or the date squares in at the end. There we go. And then we also have 2 more days here that are not part of July. I'm going to cover those up as well. And I'm just going to use some of these. If there's like, basically if there's like a long strip here, I will include it. If there's extras, you can just use these single ones to cover it up if you'd like, or you don't have to cover it up. But I don't usually include a separate strip for those if there's only like 1 or 2, because you can just use these. So there we go. And so I have a couple things. So let's see, where's my list? The 1st and the 2nd, I will be in Utah, and then when we get back on this day through like the 9th, I think we're going to be watching Ben's parents' house. We're going to be house sitting for them and watching the dog, Enzo. They're going to be out of town on vacation. And then the 10th, we have a wedding to go to. So I think for the trip, I'm just going to use some of these little, these here, and we'll use red because we have 2 reds to mark that. Oh. It's kind of tough lining this up because the lines are not there on the side. So I think instead we'll line it up with this corner. There we go. Yeah, they made these lines on the side come out farther than they used to, I think. So it ends up like if you were to try and line it up with this to this corner, it's longer than it is if you go by like these ones. So it may be a little bit tricky to line that up, but not too difficult. And then for the week that we'll probably be house sitting, I kind of want to use these little like strips and then cut them to fit. But because of this, it's kind of throwing me off. Maybe I should take that off. That might not be able to come off. Okay, so what we'll do instead is I will line it up with just the top of this. And actually, we're probably going to be doing this day as well, too, because we get back very early in the morning. So one of those strips will cover 4 boxes, and then this will be a bit more difficult to line up. But actually, I'll just put it on the bottom. That makes it easier. And then to cut these, I usually just like to use a ruler. Where is my ruler? Let me grab my ruler. And just use it to rip that because it's easier than trying to cut it. And then we use the remaining bit of this to cover that day. And for the wedding, I think I will use a little half box here. I mean, it's not really a half box, it's larger than a half box, but get the gist. And then I'm going to use this like little balloon icon for that. Oh, also I want to put in paydays. So this is a holiday though. So for this week, payday probably won't be until this day. Okay. And for these, I'm actually going to put, let's see, there's a little plane. We come back on this day, so I'll use that for that one. And then for this one, I think I'll use the little car. There we go. And then for this, I'm gonna just start it off with a house, and there are, I think most of these, some of them have 3, most of them are doubled, so you have 2 of each one. So then we'll cap that off there for house sitting. And then let's pick what headers I want to go in here. I always have a hard time filling this out because I usually end up putting most of it on my notes page as well, and so it seems redundant to put it here as well. But let's do travel for down here. And so if you just line these up with the lines of the box, they fit perfectly in there. And let's also do I don't think there are many birthdays in July. So I guess we'll just do a just regular to-do for up here. And goals. And then a next month. I think I also changed this. This was not in the previous kits. It's one of the ones that I updated to say next month, because I do like to know, you know, what's coming up. So we'll do that. And then these little date squares are square cut so that it's easier to line up with the corner of these. So like just like that, and then we'll do, and I'll zoom you guys in so you can see better. So we'll just cover up all these. Also, really quickly, before I put in all of these dots, I wanted to put in one more box, and I think I'll put it here. And now we can fill in the rest of these dates. So I think that's going to be the end of this plan with me. Since it is still only the very beginning of June this week, as I'm filming this, I want to leave this mostly open because I still don't quite know all of our plans for July. So as it gets closer to that, I'll keep filling that in and I'll show you guys the finalized version when it is done in July. So until next time, bye guys.